Krishna. Mr. Murali Krishna is the founder and CEO of Fluent Grid Limited. Fluent Grid is a turnkey digital transformation solutions company that applies smart grid technologies for uninterrupted flow of utility services, people and things in urban and industrial environments. So this is another very hot area. So I request Mr. Murali Krishna to take it forward.
Yeah, thank you, Satyanarayana Garu, for the kind introduction. And good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm loud and clear. Satyanarayana Garu, if you could please acknowledge.
Sure. You're clear.
Sure, thank you. So yeah, like Satyanarayana Garu had introduced, I'm here to speak on, provide a perspective on the energy industry, especially, how it can be the next industrial revolution for startups. So, as you all will agree, electricity is the lifeblood of modern civilization, especially both urban as well as rural. And if you look at the history of this industry, it has been mostly about bulk generation at a remote location, followed by high voltage transmission to a nearest point, and then distribution at a lower voltage to the end consumers finally. So essentially, it was a one-way flow. And whatever is generated should be consumed immediately, since electricity cannot be stored. And the only way to avoid wastage is to cut down generation by predicting demand in advance. So cutting down generation is also not very easy with the coal-fired power plants, unless you have you are operating hydro or a natural gas-based kind of a power plant. So things has changed, until very recently. And today we are witnessing a very complex interplay of challenges as well as opportunities, pushing us through new energy scenarios opening up, and largely technology-driven towards the so-called Internet of Energy, or energy internet. You can call it as EnerNet. So beyond any conceivable borders or even boundaries. So I'm here to discuss or cover some of these such scenarios. So let us take the case of renewable energy, which I think earlier speakers had covered or shared the perspective quite well, and including Satyanarayana Garu had highlighted all these climate concerns, which are leading to widespread adoption of solar and wind power generation. India also has ambitious targets on this forefront, and like Rama Reddy Garu had mentioned, our country, the leadership of PM has also set a very ambitious target. So, and the regulation also forces power utilities to procure power generated from green sources. So there are regulations which also are mandatory. So, however, the challenge is that these energy sources are intermittent. As you know, they are not continuous and could jeopardize the grid stability due to this intermittent kind of nature. So, however, recent developments in grid scale battery storage and accurate forecasting models are coming to the rescue of the stakeholders in the overall ecosystem. And with rooftop solar, now you and I can produce electricity at home or even in office and push excess energy to the grid. So we're not just consumers now, we are prosumers. So this is the new term that is being very widely used, prosumers. You also produce besides being a consumer. So we can isolate our, the community, even the community that we stay in, by setting up a microgrid or a distributed energy resources, are so called, and access the grid only to augment our necessity, our supply whenever needed. So power utilities can even resort to dynamic pricing to control peak loads, so that they don't need to, or they're not forced to buy power in the open market at exorbitant rates. And consumers with behind the meter storage capabilities can use their batteries during such peaks, or even sell power back to the grid during such times when there is when the grid is under pressure. And we have already seeing these competitive energy retailers in some countries, and I believe that even in India, the retail energy suppliers, or so-called RSPs, will be a reality very soon. And government has already enacted under the new bill or act it's called content and carriage, where you can choose your electricity supplier, but the network can be owned by a different entity. So essentially, the utility will own power networks, and multiple retailers will serve the consumers with their own competitive tariff plans or a creative tariff plans, including metering, billing, and customer service. And so this is going to be a reality very soon. And there'll be a day, I think not far away, when household appliances, where smart appliances themselves like dishwashers, can buy power at cheaper rates and directly or autonomously from transactional energy platforms. And we already have virtual power plants, VPPs, a network of decentralized power generating units, such as wind and solar farms, flexible power consumers, so-called demand response programs, and storage systems like batteries, and all these systems connected through IoT, so that they are easily controlled. And a key feature of virtual power plants is that they can aggregate flexible capacity to address peaks in an electricity demand kind of scenario, so replacing the power plants themselves. And another important development is the electric vehicles that Mr. Ramna Reddy had covered extensively. So while power utilities are afraid of the prospect of morning and evening peaks but in an increasingly EV world, there are opportunities in the form of vehicle-to-grid scenarios to offset those peak demands and so on. So ensuring adequate quality of supply anywhere, anytime, by considering all these evolving scenarios, and more through a networked energy grid is what is known as a smart grid. And today, smart metering is the foundational element for the future smart grid. And smart metering of consumers, or power consumers, and leveraging the resultant data of, there is a huge amount of data that is generated by smart meters, unlike the conventional meters. This can generate almost 3,000 times more data. It's called interval data, every 15-minute data. So this resultant data is useful in advanced analytics. And this is a primary step, like the foundational block for the future smart grid. And technologies like IoT, advanced analytics with artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities, blockchain, digital twins, drones, and so on. I think they'll definitely play a very large role in realizing the smart grid vision of the future. And if you see, most of these developments are happening at the last mile of the energy supply chain, which is the distribution segment. And we at Fluent Grid, our company based out of Vizag, headquartered Vizag, has been a recognized player in India in this space. And over the past 2 decades, we've been successful in establishing our software products and solutions as the go-to choice, at least for the Indian power utilities, and garnered a decent market share. And besides, of course, considerable or significant overseas presence as well. So if you see, there is a lot of scope for startups to innovate for Indian energy sector and take their solutions even to global markets when they are tested out here. The good thing about India is that you have numbers here. The size of consumers these utilities manage or cater to is like unmatched by any other utilities globally. So we have numbers here, so you can use this as a test bed or a test ground to really build and test it out, and even look at taking it to global markets. So, and utilities across the world are embracing digital transformation today because of these evolving rapidly or dynamically evolving energy scenarios, and so that they are ready for the future smart grids. And the current wave of universal smart metering in India, in fact, India has embarked on a very ambitious program under the National Smart Grid Mission to roll out around 250 million smart meters in India in the next 5 to 7 years. So that's a huge investment, huge infrastructure, especially digital side of things. And this itself is a huge opportunity for startups interested in this space. So there's a whole lot of possibilities. And the timing is also very right. So when we started out 2 decades ago, the time when electricity reforms were at a nascent stage in late 90s or early 2000s, and we're just kind of beginning. And we have been successful with steadfast, focus and perseverance or commitment to the sector. So likewise, you too can, benefit from the current wave of digital transformation or digital disruption sweeping across this energy industry. So timing is right, and you're at the right place with the smart metering, large smart metering program and several other digital transformation initiatives, plus the distributed energy resources, getting connected to the grid, the electric mobility that Mr. Maradi Garu had mentioned. So all this will really kind of, disrupt this industry, and there's a whole lot of opportunities for startups to innovate and scale up. Thank you. And of course, we are always there to help any time. We are here to help and guide, and please reach out for please do not hesitate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Murali Garu, for giving an overview of your company's initiatives in the area of smart grid, smart meters, advanced issues that are coming up in terms of advanced analytics and others coming up. In fact, we're building our new campus, and we are trying many of these concepts in our campus. In the first stage campus that we built, we have used 48-volt DC systems in all our hostels, fans, lights, everything work on 48-volt DC. We set up a 210 kilowatt, from a startup perspective. There are so many opportunities that are coming up. There is a Smart Grid Forum, Indian Smart Grid Forum, which is bringing all these people on a platform.
Right.
I happen to be on the mailing list, so every day I get a mail from them on some initiative on smart grids and so on.
Sure, sir. Look forward to collaborating with you. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much.